like to err is still human, but we believe that there is always room for improvement. Good afternoon, class, and today I'm going to give a speech on. Today I'm sorry. So today with taking this opportunity, I'll be giving a speech critique on Putin and Bush speech. The US and Russia joined efforts to fight terrorism. My main points will be So on June 27, 2002, the United States President George W. Bush met with President Putin to say a remark on their dialogue with the public and media in Calgary, Canada's Canada. It was their first meeting together to promote the topic international security with public. They have previously met several times before to work on different political and economic issues, and both President Bush and Putin mentions it in their opening speech. I analyzed their speech according to three main neo-Aristotelian analyses, and they are ethos, logos, and ethos. Both President Bush and Putin uses mainly philosophy and statement of logos in their speech. That is the principle of divine reason and creative order as compared to the other two neo-Aristotelian analyses, ethos and pathos. The reason mainly for implementing the idea of logos in their speech was because their subject of issue, US-Russia joint efforts to fight terrorism, needs more divine reasons and specific order to strongly convey their world the importance of this meeting between the two powerful nations. President Bush started off his speech in terms of neo-Aristotelian way of logos. He's being logical in his speech because in the opening line he mentioned, every time we meet we have a very constructive dialogue and we have a very important dialogue. And I appreciate so very much his leadership and his continued willingness to find a new common ground in this speech most important relationship. Okay. President Bush tells the importance of the participation of Russian president in the dialogue so that President Putin will be aware of his power and effect in this dialogue and would fulfill the promises in the future. President Putin, on the other hand, emphasizes his speech more on how their personal good relations have influenced the efficiency of the interaction taking place between the two countries. President Putin here also uses the idea of logos. He states that their interaction specifically has helped resolve major international problems in addition to the bilateral issues. With also the use of divine reasons, President Putin is also specific and deliberate with his words throughout his speech. He adds, there is one subject that is of particular importance and responsibility the US and Russia undertook. That is the promotion of international security. President Putin opens up a broader picture behind their dialogue by mentioning the code international security. This shows that President Putin has a clear understanding of his involvement in the dialogue and the impact he can put forward on the issue. In the second paragraph of the President Bush speech, he uses the idea of ethos in his speech. President Bush mentions the characteristic spirit of America. He mentions, America is a nation that values our relationship with an Almighty. Declaration of God and the Pledge of Allegiance doesn't violate rights. As a matter of fact, it's a confirmation of the fact that we received our rights from God, as proclaimed in our Declaration of Independence. I find this idea weakening his speech because he's portraying the spirit of America that is not his main focus in the dialogue. He goes slightly out of the topic by bringing a vague idea in his speech, and with that, he might lose the attention of his audience. President Putin strengthens his speech furthermore in the end of his speech. He mentions that what I would like to say that the military of our nation and special services of our countries are built up in a way so that they carry their global unfortunately, terrorism is a global nature as well as today. And therefore, we mentioned just joint efforts are essential if you want to be successful in this fight. President Putin first explains that the military and service of both Russia and United States are of global nature. The statement right there is proving the military of Russia is the same standard parallel to the US. And then he goes back to the main thesis and mentions that the mission will be successful because of the joint efforts of the both nations. And President Bush in this way is very thorough with his points and always makes sure that his points are related with the main thesis in some shape in the end. So in the end of President Putin's speech, he lays an expectation. He mentioned in his speech that we expect that our interaction will make a significant and decisive contribution to the elimination of terrorism worldwide. Okay, President Putin logically restates his main thesis and leaves a strong impression to the listeners that it would be significant and decisive contribution to the elimination of terrorism worldwide. At the end of the speech, President Bush portrayed the idea of pathos in his closing speech, like at the end. On the topic of the relationship between the United States and Russia vis-a-vis this battle against terrorism jointly, the remark left by President Bush was rather subjective than objective. He understands what I understand, and there won't be peace if terrorists are allowed to kill and take innocent lives. And therefore, I view President Putin as an ally, strong ally in the war against terror. And his actions speak louder than words. He has been a man of action when it comes to fighting terror, and I appreciate that very much. Here is his reason for being Russia's ally is poor because it was based on personal basis. For example, President Bush said President Putin understands what he understands, that there won't be peace if terrorists are allowed to kill and take innocent life, and therefore he views President Putin as a strong ally. Okay, so in conclusion, President Putin deliberated a better speech than President Bush in terms from the new Aristotelian analysis. President Putin used logical analysis throughout his speech and always stood close to the main theme of the dialogue. So US-Russia continued joint efforts to fight terrorism. On the other hand, President Bush constantly overran his speech on ethos and pathos that weakened his overall speech effect.